What's good, fam? So the newest edition came in the mail while I was home. Uh, I'll be probably installing it tonight. Of course, with a lot of stuff off of Amazon, there's no instructions. But I mean, it's not rocket science. It's plug and play and screws and everything. So, you know, I think I'll work it out. But uh, I'll try to be keyword try. I'll try to be a little bit more. Oh, hey, Aurora. I try to be a little more vocal as opposed to other videos, as you know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Uh, but I got a 41-inch light bar, and I got these two little single lights. So I'm curious to see how bright they are, or they're gonna be, and a little rocker switch to turn it on there. But with this and the addition of some other lights that I plan on installing pretty soon, I'm going to have to run a dual battery setup, which I'll go through in depth what that is once I actually get it and start installing it. But essentially, I'm just going to be running all of these lights and stuff off another battery so that I'm not killing my main battery. Yeah, there it is. But we'll get to it. If not tonight, tomorrow, and you know I think it'll look good. I'm an avid fisherman, so I figure I'll actually get some use out of these when I'm like pulling up on ponds or I'm fishing until zero dark 30. So yeah, there you have it. Here's the little bit of instructions that it did come with. So pretty self-explanatory. Switch lights, plug into the rocker switch to the circuit board to the battery. So not difficult at all, knock on wood. So yeah, that's it for now, and the next clip should be me starting to prep the truck to get this on there. All right, explain that one more time.
All right, so it's one switch. It's gonna run to all three lights. You've got a relay in the middle. It's like a fuse basically.
So I was gonna plug it into my fuse box.
This is the fuse right here, and this is like the relay. It's a relay for the actual switches. These will go to the battery, and then these outlets right here will run to the lights. I'm guessing this is, since it's by itself, runs to your light bar, and then this one is parallel, same output to your tube lights individually. So you see how they're spliced off right here, 2 power, 2 ground.
Yeah.
And then they split off and they go to each light individually. That's supposed to get wired. So you only need one switch to turn all three on at the same time.
Yeah. So if I want to possibly switch that up, I will have to, basically, I guess, unplug whichever one is for the individual one and plug it into a different.
Like if you only wanted the light bar on it at once.
Yeah.
So you need a different switch and a different power input. So you could, let's say, get a different switch and just splice the light bar into that switch instead, so that way it could run to your battery. Gotcha.
Because I have like a three rocker switch set in my Amazon cart.
Yeah. So with mine, like, I have this. This is the actual box itself where everything is wired in here. So if you look back here, I have each light going in there individually, and the way it's wired, this gets directly into the battery. The way I have it powered,
that way you don't have all these wires hooked up to the battery itself.
Yeah, but not only that, so the way it works is that there's a power switch. So this right here, it's wired to that box. This is where all my switches are, right? But the thing is that it doesn't turn on unless I push this button. So because it's plugged in directly to my battery, I could turn it on without the fucking
oh, that's
the
dope.
battery being on.
So that's like the equivalent to the hot battery bus right there. Sheesh. So did that whole switchboard, like, I mean, this is part of this whole switchboard?
Yeah, so basically everything it's got an individual switch going to that terminal. So there's 8 terminals, 8 switches individually. So that way I could turn just You know, if I wanted just my floodlights on, I just turn that on and my floodlights come on.
Yeah.
The way yours is going to be, it's going to be one switch is going to go on and all 3 lights are going to come on at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you did want to do something like that, you'd have to basically get a different wire harness for it. Because at this point,
because when it's all said and done, I'll have the 2 individuals, the bar, the rock lights, and then the bed lights.
yeah, so if you wanted to wire each one of those individually, you'd have to get separate harnesses. Because at this point, everything's gonna be plugged into your batteries, so you can turn them off and on, but they'll be hot power.
And that kind of saves you from having to run the dual battery setup, like having that like power switch on there.
Yeah.
That hot switch.
Yeah, because like I said, it's powering. This is the main terminal. The harness runs to that, and that's the only thing getting powered. But everything here, if I were able to open this up, you could see there's individual relays for every switch. So I don't have to have that big old bulky relay in there every time.
Yeah. All right, so we got a pretty good game plan as far as what I'm gonna do in the near future. But I'll get to that whenever we do that. But for now, I guess you're just gonna kind of mount these up and get them plugged up and see how they go. I probably won't do nothing permanent until I get the rest of my lights in and do like the extra little, you know, splices here and there. But for right now, just getting these mounted. These will be fairly simple, just to mount them to the bar right there. And then the 41-inch bar, I think I'll have to actually drill into my baby, so I'm not looking forward to that, but we'll see. All right, so we loosely installed those for now. We're about to run the wire through so that we can connect this terminal here with the wires here. So we're gonna run this through and just kind of run it through behind here for those two, and that essentially will be done with those. And really the big thing is gonna be figuring out mounting for the light bar. So all right. So I kind of made it a little harder than it needed to be, but eventually what I did was I'll just have one little plastic pressure screw holding this down. So I just pulled that and I was able to lift up on this, and then I ran the wires from the back. And then so now that I have them coming out, I can pull the wire around to this empty gap right here so that it's not like pushing down pressure on the wire. Like, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's not a lot of pressure or anything, but I don't know, over time maybe it might just rub the wires raw, and you know, my lights start going in and out. So that wasn't too bad. So we just gotta splice these up and tighten those down, and then the front is done. So next I'm just gonna like size up that to see, you know, try to center it and kind of see where it needs to go, since my truck is clearly wider than 41 inches. So try to get it dead center. And I'm a little nervous about drilling those holes in the top of my truck, but we'll make it work. So here we go. If anything, I mean, I could also just drill the holes into my roof rack up there and throw it on the roof rack. So that is another option, and probably a safer option. So just like everything else, got to do some tedious work. So I'm not going to take the whole headliner off. I'm just going to drop the front right here, because I'm going to be screwing probably like right up underneath where the sunshades are. So I got to take these two sun visors out, got to take the little sunglass holder slash light out, and then I should be able and pull these back right here, these panels, and I should be able to have enough clearance in there because I'm dropping the screw from the top. So I'll measure it out, screw it in from the top. I'll drop the screws from the top, tighten them down as tight as I can, and then throw this back up here. I mean, fixing the headliner is one thing on the agenda for this truck anyway, so dropping this down will give me a nice little insight on how to go about that. So yeah, here we go. All right, so just drop this down, just one screw holding it on. Gonna take the 4 screws out of here to pull the headliner back, and then after that I'm gonna get a tape measure, measure up 4 equally distant holes up there and drill it in and try to get my mounts mounted up. So that should be it. All right, yeah, hopefully it's that simple. So I dropped the headliner low enough to screw through the roof to mount the brackets that the light mount to. So all it is now is just lining it up, making sure I got a even spacing up there, so I don't have some like super flicked or offset light. So we about to measure that up on the ground, set it up how I want it, and then put it up there, and then mark the holes and then drill. And then after that, it's just a matter of connecting it, running the wires, and putting those back up. My phone died during that hyperlapse, and I didn't get to finish project, but I'll talk about it in a second. Go ahead, switch it. But that's it right there. Like, it's crazy bright. Like, the bar is ridiculous. These are, I need to get it set so that I can switch these off separately, so I can have at least those on or that on, and or both. So but that's it right there. You can see how bright that thing is. Yeah. All right, you go ahead, kill it. So I'm gonna take it for a little spin around the neighborhood or up the road or something, switch it on while I'm driving, and just see how much I can see. So I gotta button up the headliner, and then I'll be done. Cool. So there you have it. I got the lights installed. That's how it looks in the daytime. Y'all saw how it looked last night. These are a little smaller than I initially thought. Compared to that, you can't even tell if these are really on, but that's why I want to get it set up to where I can turn them on separately. But that's how it looks right there. I still don't really have them you know, secured at the angle I want them, but I mean, that's just a matter of tightening some bolts down there. So essentially, I guess I give you guys a rundown of what happened, and you know, probably what you didn't see inside the video. Hey, how's it going? which you guys didn't see inside the video. So let me go ahead and pop the hood real quick and show you guys what's up. It's a little junky in here, and I didn't mount this because I plan on getting the rest of my lights here pretty soon, and I'm gonna mount up like a whole little circuit board for that. But let me pop the hood. Alright, so it's in here a little sloppily right now, but for starters, you guys saw us just kind of put these on loosely. Later on, went and tightened them down up underneath a little bit better. We ran the wires from behind the grill right here. That was, you know, simple stuff. We got our positive and negative connected in there, and we couldn't fit it through the firewall down there. I don't know if you can see, the light's pretty bright, but so right through there is where my speaker wires go through. So we tried to fit the wire for the rocker switch to go through there, but it just wasn't going. So essentially what we did is we ran the wire from the rocker switch and the wire from the top light bar down through a space in here, so it's still protected. The door is not closing on it. We open the door, so you can see right there, we just kind of peeled this back and ran the wire up underneath this seal right here. I think the worst part of it all was me actually drilling my truck. So you gotta drop the headliner, just do 3 little holes, hollow on the other side. I'm gonna hit it with like some Flex Seal or something, so that, you know, when it rains heavy, it's not like leaking inside the liner. But you know, that's a little project for another day, because I have to drop the headliner again just to hit it with that Flex Seal. That's pretty much it. It wasn't difficult at all. You know, like most things, I think newer cars and newer trucks are probably a little bit more stressful, but I mean, these older vehicles just kind of, you know, it was just pretty cut and dry. You know, engines, gas, hopes and dreams, really. You know, you don't really have to worry about all the computers and wires and, you know, locking yourself out. Because at one point, I guess we had a bad ground with the negative, so my truck would start and shut right back off. Luna thought that he might have messed something up, but you know, I was like, nah, man, it's probably something small. So, you know, there it is. Took I think total time maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but a lot of that time was just kind of us talking about what we were gonna do and things like that. So yep, one more thing down. So let me know what you guys think. I'll be back soon with another video, probably installing the rock lights inside the wheel wells. I don't think that'll be anything crazy, but until next time, peace.